Hey folks, I'm back. What I've got right here is it's an old picture of the Homer Brown Major Lewis livestock auction. This is from back around 1946, and they'd had a big sale and they'd sold a bunch of pinto ponies and they moved them ponies to Maryland. Anyway, that livestock auction used to be right downtown here in my hometown. It's not there anymore. It wasn't there by the time I was born. It had been moved over to a little east of town off of I-40. And it had changed its name from the Homer Brown Major Lewis Livestock Auction. It was just Lewis Livestock Auction. That's what it was the whole time I was growing up. Of course, it's not even there anymore. This whole town's changed. But back when I was young, in high school, on Tuesday evenings, Tuesdays they had their sale, but Tuesday after school, I'd go over there. They'd hire a whole slew of people just to come in there and pin up cattle as they sold, whatever they were selling at the time, They sold all kinds of livestock in there, but I'd hire on mostly in the evenings. By then, they were selling cattle. And it was first come, first serve. They'd hire as many people as they needed on those days. And if you got there too late, well, you wouldn't get a job. They didn't pay us real great, But the place had a good burger. That place had a really good burger over there. Who'd have thought that a place that sells beef on the hoof would have a good burger? Well, they did. They had a really good burger. Anyway, so they'd hire us to pin cattle, and the old auction block was up front there. And the auctioneer, he'd do his thing, blah, 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 sell them cows. Then they'd leave the auction block and run into the back where the pins were. And we'd all be back there. Hardly any of us were mounted. We'd have a hot shot, or a quirt or something. And had an old PA system back there. That sucker covered in cobwebs and fly specks. I don't know how old it was. It was a lot older than me. But after they'd sell that cow, whoever bought it, well, that purchaser would have a pin number, and whoever bought it, he had that pin number, and someone would call out that number over that old PA system, and that would tell us what pin to put it in. So auctioneer, he'd sell it, and we were just standing around back there jawboning, and then here come this sound over the PA, 36, pin 36. You have to listen real close because it was an old PA system. And we'd swing that pin open, and here'd come that old bull or heifer or whatever it was, We'd get that pin open, we'd guide it on down between there and get it pinned up. And here come the next one, and you had to get it in there before that next one got sold. While you're working on 36 down there, where they might be like, 19. And you didn't want 36 and 19 open at the same time. You wanted to get that stuff put up. You want a bunch of cattle running around back there you had to sort out on foot, of all things, But anyway, like I said, we don't even have a livestock auction in this town anymore. This whole town's changed, It's grown a lot. I remember it being like 18,000 was the population. We must be close to 80 now. I don't know. We've got 2 colleges and a state university in this town. It's just boomed and grown. We're in a dry county, but there's a bar on every corner, it seems like. Restaurant. It's a restaurant. They're not bars, they're restaurants. They're bars. Some of them are just straight up bars, but a lot of you may not know what a dry county is, but it's a place where you can't buy alcohol. You got to go to a county that serves alcohol. Well, this is a dry county. You can't buy alcohol, except there's some loophole about a private club. I guess Chili's is a private club because they'll serve you some alcohol in there. And all these other places that opened up around town, I guess they're private clubs too. They're not, but they fell underneath that loophole. So anyway, that picture and those memories got me thinking. They inspired me to write this little piece here, and you can call it poetry if you want to, or drivel. It's probably more along the lines of drivel, but I call this To Market. Remind you of this picture here. Bring it back up so you can see it. 1946. I see all them ponies there moving out. Look how well dressed everybody is. You don't see that anymore, do you? Anyway, To Market. I have an old photo of the sale barn, the original one. The livestock auction used to be right downtown, Markham Street to be exact. It was next to the old gin, no more than a block from the Log Cabin Democrat and the Ford dealership. All gone now. Though the buildings still stand, they're an effigy of sorts to bygone days. By the time I was growing up, Lewis Livestock was a little south of town and slightly east, near I-40 and Highway 286. As a child, I'd go there on occasion with my dad on Tuesdays, not to sell or buy, just to kill time. We would enjoy a burger in the company of men in plaid pearl snap shirts. My dad would joke that the patties were pressed in the armpit of the sweaty fry cook. When I was a teen, I would hire on of a Tuesday evening after school. I'd pen cattle as they were sold and eat dust. A voice came over an ancient, crackling PA, calling out a pin number, and the beast ran from the auction block. We would open the appropriate gate and steer the animal in with hot shots or quirts. We weren't mounted or well paid. Later, years later, I'd take my daughter after school on Tuesdays to enjoy a burger and a drink while we watched the motor mouth auctioneer glance and nod and count and move cattle from farm to market. I joked that the patties were, well, you know, I miss those days. Nowadays, the old Lewis Livestock Auction doesn't exist. No livestock auction exists in this town. I guess that town no longer exists in this city. In its place is Lewis Crossing, a shopping center anchored by Sam's Club, and a population who have no clue about the significance of either name. As sad as it is, I can't help it. I laugh a little, the irony not escaping me when I watch those people getting pinned up as the gates of those stores swing wide and bring them to market. Hope y'all enjoyed this. God bless you and have a good evening.